Welcome to the DAT Podcast, episode 63. With your host, my cousin Vlad, sitting here on the red couches of truth now. We've changed the couches due to the last time that we sat with our guests and we're slunking in them like some junkie in a 1990s movie. And now we're back with refurbished couches and a new guest bringing live to you today, just a spontaneous version of the DAT Podcast interview series, or chat series, let's call it. It's Warren Abela. Some of you guys might know him from my features on the podcast a couple of podcasts ago when he had a new album under WAZA. Was it WAZA?
Interlooper, actually.
Interlooper, all right. So Warren Abela is a music producer, beat maker, multi-instrumentalist, goes by WAZA for his hip-hop beats, Interlooper for the flashback synthwave stuff, and Walkabout Street, am I correct, for acoustic instrumentals. The guys played around the whole country, opened up a big day out, played a big day out, opened up for Wu-Tang Clan, House of Pain, Machine Gun Kelly, been on Triple J, been on Rage, played the Enmore Theatre, done all the notable stuff that you want to do as an artist and a musician, and he's still going hard at the projects that I mentioned, WAZA, Interlooper, and Walkabout Street. Welcome, Warren Abela.
Vlad, thanks for having me, man. It's good to see you.
My pleasure, bro, my pleasure. So, might as well, I'm doing all the cutting and stuff like that today. So Tony Marinchevsky came along and then he decided that he's got better things to do. So at the same time, I'm like a DJ today.
Going left, right.
Going left, right between me and the guest. So Warren, we met, I'm just going to call you Woz. I call you Woz. Yes. When I first spoke to him on the phone, he goes, my name's Woz. I thought it was some Aussie bloke. Because you don't meet many wogs, and if I cut to his head, that's not an Aussie.
What a head.
What was a head, bro? And we met what year? Like 5-6 years ago?
Yeah, 6 years ago. I think 2015. We met through a mutual publicist, music publicist, the Fruit Man.
The Fruit Bloke. Yeah, the Fruit Bloke. I remember that bloke. Let's just call him Tropicano, the Tropical Fruit Man. Anyway,
baskets of fruits.
When we met, I was still trying to be like Bon Jovi.
Rage Against the Machine.
Rage Against the Machine. Hair flickering, lead singer of the band, trying to break the industry in Australia. Like, it's very hard as a wog. Can we be honest?
You don't see many guys that look like us. It's honestly, there's something racial going on.
All right, so let's not get political. But if I'm going to say to you, if I had $1 million in cash right now in that suitcase, pick a suitcase, there's heaps of them here, all right? Name 5 wog frontmen or 5 wogs that have made it in Australia in the last 10 years. Go.
Oh, yeah, see, there's nothing notable. I remember the 90s stuff, like Joe Arpup, he was Maltese from the Black Sorrows.
Oh, yeah, I remember them.
Yeah, Nathan Camilleri, Italian guitarist, guitarist prodigy.
Child prodigy, yep.
Troy Casadale, I think he's half Aboriginal, half Maltese.
Yeah.
Not many notable, it's just like, you don't see many guys. But, it's actually funny. I actually had like this theory. It's like, what's going on? Don't see many guys that look like me on stage. But then fucking Drake happens and I look in the mirror and it's like,
you look exactly like Drake.
Yeah. Well, people, I didn't pick it up. Like, people would say, you look like Drake, running around the city doing gigs. Like, guys will stop me. It's like, you look like Drake. It's like,
if I walked past you in the city, 100% I'll think you're Drake. like, look at these head.
What a head.
It's Drake. Champagne puppy.
Is that what it is? I thought it was champagne or something.
Yeah, champagne puppy. Like a little dog.
See, I can't read as well, like it's...
Now, hold on, we were talking about wogs. So you named a couple of people, but you only named people that were born in the 60s and the 70s.
Yeah.
I'm talking about someone that's around now. Like, who's the wogs on the scene? Because everyone's talking about this matters, that matters. This life matters, that life matters. No one's worried about wogs going to Newtown and playing to, punters, drinking to his new, or like pure blonde or whatever, depends if you're shredding or not, or like pale ales like me. Who's the wogs in the scene, bro? And Australia, are you listening to our beckoning calls, bro? Because we're out here in double brick garages writing anthems, bro, like Kiss. And you're out here just taking on Aussie blokes that are part-time bricklayers. Like, we've literally quit our jobs to stay at home and make these songs that fall on deaf ears, as they call it. So,
it's
the wogs, bro.
Yeah, I guess it's me and you, Bobby, you know.
There you go. So you got 2, you don't win the $1 million. I said 5 and you'd get a cool milli, bro. Pay off the house.
Yeah, it's definitely been a struggle, and it's just like, everyone deserves a turn, but it sucks when they skip a few people, you know, like, it's like, oh, well, what about me? You know, like, you kind of hate to sound bitter and stuff, but the industry kind of jumps on the bandwagon a little bit, and it kind of just like bypasses like people that have always been here as well. It's just, the industry is a bit fickle.
All right, let me ask you a question. Do you reckon that everyone should have a go? Do you reckon everyone's deserving to be in the limelight?
100%, you know, because everyone thinks they're special in their own right, you know. Like, I mean, your parents bring you up to say that, you know, you're number one, you're special, you know, you deserve everything. But then when you kind of go out into the, you know, the forest, you know,
that's
before
right.
the birds get there and shit.
Before the birds get, that's right, exactly. You've been paying attention.
You know, like, everyone deserves to be given a chance, but like in Australia, there's pretty much one radio station that controls it all, controls the festival, controls the airwaves, controls like pretty much the TV, and you know that.
Who's that? Today FM?
No, it's the one they call Triple J.
Triple J.
You know,
shout out to Triple J. You should be listening to this, bro, and get us maybe as hosts.
Yeah,
we promise we will not shit on your station. If we get on there, all of a sudden we love your station.
Yeah, definitely. Say nice things.
Yeah.
It's just like, just imagine like all of Australia, you know, just lining up in one freeway trying to get in. You know, like it's virtually impossible. I think, you know, for this country, how massive it is, there should be other avenues that hold power that can facilitate everyone. Because like, especially these days, everyone's a musician, or everyone, you know, it's something, we're sold this idea, you know, dream big, you know, yada, 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 you know, like anything is possible. But when you kind of do it and you kind of get rejected like 100 times, you kind of think, something's not right here.
Do you think at that point, do you think that if you're rejected 100 times and you start thinking something's not right, are you thinking something's not right with the industry, or something's not right with your mindset?
Yeah, it's kind of a bit of both. Like, it's like when you kind of get rejected when you send your song out like to radio, and you just get like just rejection after rejection. You kind of like scratch your head. It's just like, is it me? Is it the song? Is it the mix of the song?
Yep.
Or is it?
It's like disheartening.
For sure. And it's enough to kind of send you down like a dark road of like depression and stuff. And but. Yeah, it's like, and then you start to think, all right, is it the style of the song? Is it's not popping at the moment, that style? And then, you know, you think, oh, should I change it up, try and fit in? And then you go around in circles. You're pretty much chasing your tail, because I think these guys who are kind of the gatekeepers, they don't really know either what they want. I think they're just kind of waiting for the next thing to follow themselves. And but it's just like, you can kind of go, is it me? Is it them? But at the end of the day, you know, like, eventually you see the light, and it's just like, I just got to be me. I just got to do what I like. And then eventually, if I like it, some other people will like it. And then slow and steady wins the race. I've seen that time and time.
That's great. That's good advice. If anyone's out there, and like, I'm a real estate agent, so you know what I mean? So for me, I don't understand the music world anymore. After I quit the music world, got the Audi, got shredded, got tan, got a missus. Kids going left, right and centres. You know what I mean? Selling our shows now.
Hanging in the forest.
Hanging in, podcast, immaculate, 5 sponsors, this, that. Visual Energy Signs, you know, shout out. Bruce Super Convenience. I can't remember the others, but we'll put them in later. But the best piece of advice, because you were whinging a little bit there. And
I was.
And that's all right, because I understand what it's like to be an artist. You know, like, some people might say I'm a bullshit artist and you're a full-time artist. But I'm a full-time bullshit artist. But the best advice that had there was like, after the trials and tribulations that Michael Jackson went through, he just had to be himself at the end.
Yeah, that's it.
And then in the end, I mean, he died. So that was tragic, you know, just sleeping and all of that. But he sang a lot about trials and tribulations.
He did.
You know? And his was trying to be, I don't know, living in fairyland or whatever. What was the name of his house?
Neverland.
Neverland, right? Fairyland, yeah.
He had his own forest.
But every artist trudging through the shit that is the gatekeepers of any industry, doesn't matter whether it's real estate or because real estate's just as difficult. Yet in the end, you got to be yourself. I reckon that's the best advice for whoever's watching or listening to this. Well, what I said, you see the light when you give in on all of what you can't control, which is the people and the style and who's getting up and who's not. That's irrelevant. And you focus, just knuckle down on what you're good at, which is creating it and make a lot of it. Because that's the other thing that I was going to say. In order to, firstly, the Triple J thing, I reckon it's kind of gone. It's done.
It's done.
And like my mate Dane, he was telling me like TikTok and Instagram is where you get music out these days, especially TikTok, right? So you got to kind of dance to your music and be a buffoon, take your clothes off, maybe get a girl with big fake tits, lips, hips, tits, Sydney Reno to dance for you, shake her ass in a thing and tag your song in it.
Yeah.
All of a sudden people are shazamming your song. So either way, you got to become a bit of a, like you got to whore yourself somehow, right? So it's better to get someone sexy to do it, not Drake, right?
Yeah.
But then there's other ways to get music out. That's my opinion nowadays. We're lucky with the internet. Say 10 years ago, it was a little bit less, way less. Actually, it was the only way to get out was through the radio for the whole Australia to know you.
Yeah.
But now you can have a viral video and you don't even need them. You know, they'll come straight to your show.
Well, you just need like a loyal kind of community, you know, whether it be in real life or online, you know, like a good thing with the interlooper music that I do with the synthwave, retrowave genre, there's a massive online community in a truck.
It's another truck.
There's a truck. Yeah, massive online community where they have like Facebook pages, like, you know, with 50,000 people in the group and stuff, and you know, some smaller ones as well. You know, you got to kind of be in all around it. But places like that, I've found people actually want to be in there and discover new music because they really love it. It's got more of like an underground kind of feel, and people feel like they're into something that everyone else isn't. Even though that synthwave, it's actually becoming a little bit more popular in the mainstream with artists like The Weeknd, and then, you know, with the 80s revival phenomenon of, you know, Stranger Things, Cobra Kai now, and like it's pretty much 80s revival now.
There is a bit of that. There is definitely. I know a lot of people that I speak to on the internet, old mates and stuff, they always put on Instagram synthwave stuff. The posters that I was doing was synthwave stuff as well.
It was, yeah. The first one,
the first one, like Miami Vice style or whatever.
100%,
So ahead of the curve.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But all right, let me ask you a question now.
Yeah.
What happens if via whatever medium, you just pop off overnight, bro? What are you going to do about it?
I'll have to get shredded.
There you go. Are you getting an Audi?
No, I'll still stick with my Subaru.
Yeah, okay. Well, Audi is rule number one for a reason, you know. That's to become officially Mac. So what are you going to do?
Well,
say you pop off, bro. You want it. It's COVID. You can't play to more than 32 people that are vaccinated. What are you going to do? Are you going to do online shows, or are you going to run a tour? What's like your next album? What is it? Is it WAZA? Interlupo?
I'm working on like 3 at the moment in my studio. So working on a new WAZA Beats album, because I just released Broken Notes earlier. A few months ago.
That was very good.
Thank you. Yeah, no,
so
you liked it.
Whoever's listening, go to Spotify, Apple Music, WAZA. It's just WAZA, WAZA.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
And in America, WAZA. If you're listening here, because we've got Colombian people that listen to this. So if you're in Colombia, dancing, maracas, you know what I mean, and other rackers in Colombia, go to WAZA, WAZA, and it's called Broken Notes.
Broken Notes.
Broken Notes.
There's a few WAZAs on there, so yeah, just look for like I think my latest album, Broken Notes, should pop up.
It's very good. I listened to it. I loved it.
Yeah, no, you liked it. Yeah, you were sending me like pretty much like a live kind of listen through, like track 1, good, track 2, yeah.
No, I did, and
so I think just going back to your question, if I do kind of blow up because of this podcast. I would like to just to do the live shows, you know. I like that. I'm old school. Like, you know, I was born in the 80s and then, you know, grew up in the 90s. And I love, the reason why I got into music was just the feeling that I get on stage. Like one of the very kind of early few times that I actually started playing in bands and getting on stage, I got this amazing feeling, like words couldn't describe, like just like buzzing, like just like pure endorphins, adrenaline. I remember one time at my school variety night, we did the band I was in, we did like a couple of covers. We did Pearl Jam, Review Mirror, and You Or My Aussie band, a song called Berlin Chair.
Yep.
Massive hall, probably about 800 people and stuff.
Yeah.
I was 14 years old, and I remember I was buzzing for literally 2 weeks after that, and that's when I knew it's just like, fuck, man, this is insane. So I'll go off the live music. I have people hit me up to do the live streams and stuff, like for WAZA and Interloper, but I'm not really into that. I don't know, I should, but it's just like I'm not really. See, social media is like a trap for me. I mean, you know, like it's worked wonders for you, but like to me, I don't know. I think my mindset is like, if you pop off on social media, you got to be on that 24/7.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, you can't let that slip.
No, you can't. It's a full-time job.
It's a full-time job.
It is a trap in many ways.
Yeah, and
but with that comes like, without socials, like obviously this podcast wouldn't come around, and we wouldn't be doing this stuff, and that happened by accident, like just driving around in a car.
And see that's another thing.
In an Audi.
Like
probably not an accident with the Audi. If I was in a Subaru, I don't know if it would have popped off.
Yeah, see that's the thing. Like, see, like, because I hadn't spoken to you like for I think a good few months, and then I just happened to check your page out, and it was just like blowing up. It's just like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, just like, this is amazing. And that's how it should happen. It has to be just like this thing that you can't explain or kind of calculate. It just has to pop off. It's just like, it happens. It's happened time and time again, like with the biggest artists, like, you kind of backtrack and watch interviews with your favorite kind of artist, actor, whoever, comedian. It all kind of just like happened like miraculously. Like they were out there putting in the work, but like a lot of their mindset was like, it's not going to happen. How can it happen? But it just like, some magic dust, in the forest comes out and and finds you. Like big example, like, bands like Nirvana, bands like Pearl Jam, like, I'm a 90s kid, I love that. It's just like, these guys, they didn't really want to be like that successful. No. They were happy to be indie. But it was just like the tides were shifting in the music industry, and it just so happened that these major labels that had millions of dollars at the time when music was really good to invest into these indie artists, and a lot of these artists were calling the shots. So that's what I fell in love with, and but it was just unfortunate when I came around into music, the industry shifted. It was the downfall of the industry. Like I was like, started playing in bands like mid-90s, but like as I got a bit older, 18 years old, like was like around 1998, 99, the industry took a massive dip because of the MP3. The MP3 was invented, and Napster came out, and basically the industry were kind of warned about it, and but no one really listened. And it basically killed the fucking music industry in a matter of like 2 to 3 years, worldwide, wiped out like COVID.
Everything's fickle. Everything is going to be fickle because of technology. Like, you can't bank on having a reliable source of either fans or income or anything ever unless you're constantly evolving with the changes. And if you're lucky, somehow you get at the start of like Instagram popping off and you become huge, or TikTok, which is basically a hellhole, which I've jumped on recently. And TikTok is the most mental platform I've ever been on, right?
Yeah.
I'm on TikTok now. Every video is getting 200 views on her. That's okay. I don't really care. And then out of nowhere, one video got like 30,000 views in a day.
Yeah.
It's like they shift some algorithm. There's some dweeb in either China or Silicon Valley, I'm not sure where they control it from there in Mars, and then they're just like, all right, you have a go now, and they pop you off for a little bit, and then you go, all right, I've popped off, and then the next day you're not popped off again.
Yeah.
So it's like the durries, bro. When the durries came out, you punch a durry, you go, that's the best head rush I've ever had.
Yeah.
What happens half an hour later, an hour later, you go, I need a durry.
Yeah.
You go back onto TikTok.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same shit.
Yeah.
But there's people that started on TikTok and they're flying, like straight away, flying. And then you can make something out of it, sell out shows or sell T-shirts or become an influencer. right? Or whatever you're going to do. But then if you're not honing the craft and you're not really about whatever you're doing, whether it is selling T-shirts or selling strategies or whatever, if you just take your foot off the gas, then it's going to be the same thing as if you've got MP3 coming in, and it's going to gas you out, and you're going to fall behind the wave of change. That's just how it is. So I think what you're saying is really true, that you may catch on to the end of a tail that you want to be on, and a new tail starts and you miss out on that. But it's like, if you caught onto the start of that new tail, then when the other change comes, you're stuck on that and you don't want to change to the new one, you get left behind then. So it's like, in order to have longevity in anything you got to do, you got to just keep constantly evolving. And the entertainment industry, the music industry, the comedy industry, which I'm not in, the real estate industry, which I'm in. Like real estate, if I'm going to speak to you about it, and I know you're on my show, it's the amount of times it's changed in the last 10 to 20 years that I've seen it. It's crazy. It is crazy, bro. It used to be about regular people, usually family men, coming in. Now it's mostly a youthful industry. No one door knocks, no one handshakes very much unless it's out like open for inspections. Everything's a digital marketplace. You got a guy running through a golf course now doing promotional videos of himself. He's got a sleeve tat doing shots and then saying, I just sold the house with a Bondi view. And then he's like wanting people to call him. That's kind of Sydney real estate at the moment. Whereas back in the day when I started, there was none of that. There was no internet for the real estate agent. It was like, you've got a sold sign in the street. You go and door knock the area around the sold sign, you meet all the vendors. Now it's like people are trying to get listings through their mobile phone, right? Most of them are making between 5 and 10 sales a year. Huge shout out to our sponsors that keep bringing an immaculate podcast to the people for free every week. You got to support the supporters that support the podcast in no particular order, but I'm just going alphabetical this week. We've got Angel Grove Toys and Collectibles, starting with the A. Angel Grove Toys and Collectibles. They are a passion project out of Melbourne that are the #1 toys and collectibles spot on the internet. Go to www.angelgrovecollectibles.com for throwing it up on the screen and stuff. angelgrovecollectibles.com, official Bam Presto partners. We've got Bruce Super Convenience, which is the #1 Aussie snack plug for confectionaries, chocolates, throw a drink at someone, chips, dips, left, right, centers, bro. Strategies when it comes to confectionery and snacks. Go to brucesuper.com.au, brucesuper.com.au, or follow them at brucesuperc for Bruce Super Convenience. Shipping around the whole Australia like FedEx. Then we've got the Burek brothers, the #1 Burek place in the whole world, 160 Bay Street in Rockdale. The Burek brothers, authentic Burek. Make sure you go and see them and mention Vlad. All of you guys that are on the sponsors, mention Vlad, all right? Because they got to mention Vlad so they can stay as sponsors. Otherwise. So after that, we've got Orange Legal Group, the #1 one-stop shop for purchasing, selling real estate, getting your taxes done and getting mortgages done down in Essendon, Melbourne. Orange Legal Group. Go to www.orangelegalgroup.com.au. And also, finally, as strong as ever, Svet and the crew down at Visual Energy Signs. They're servicing the whole Wollongong, Sydney and Southern Highlands area when it comes to shop front signs, car stickers, printer, laser print cards, this, that. I know this is all off the top of my dome, bro. So, as I said, the longer versions of the ads are on the audio podcast. For now, just giving them a quick wrap. Support the supporters that support the podcast. What were we saying? We're saying these guys, you can go the digital route, right? The younger people do that because that's what they're grown up, and you can't have a go at them and try to fish for an audience or work or business or whatever that way. But if you're not prepared with the collateral or the product or the skill set or the passion or even the mindset or even the tenacity to withstand, say like you, 10, 15, 20 years in pursuit of something, even if you get it, the potato's too hot to hold for a long time. You've killed all, like you've got zero like feeling left in your hands basically.
Yeah.
So because you've been emotionally destroyed. It's like It's like when you get, you know what it's like. Guys that are on there that haven't got a missus now, that are in their 30s, that have been out there fishing constantly, battling the elements, slipping on rocks, falling out into the water, nearly getting mauled by a great white shark, and then they finally got a missus. You're emotionally like been flattened like a gecko on a road that's been run over by a semi-trailer 4 times.
Yeah.
You're on Stony Creek Road, but you know the disappointment from being rejected, the missus dumping you in the middle of King's Cross, which happened to me in 2001. It doesn't really matter. I don't want to talk about it. You know what I mean? So then when I actually got a missus, very good at being able to maintain, because 10 misses prior to that, catastrophe. So let's just say that when because nothing's guaranteed in life, not even an Audi, if you get to where you're going, once you've beaten the path for that long, and anyone that's an artist out there, I reckon you'll be more responsible with holding your position out there with, say, giving out products, working, new music, because you're skilled now. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You're skilled, bro. You did it behind the scenes.
Yes.
It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's like I walk into my studio / music room in my house, and sometimes I just look at it and like I kind of like can't believe, you know, what gear I have in there. Like, you know, like spend thousands of dollars like on gear, monitors, you know, like pretty much everything. Like, you know, because as I look back, you know, like 10 to 15 years earlier, I had really kind of low grade gear, and you know, it was kind of like training wheels. But now I kind of through advice from my friend Tony, who I play Ngora with as well, actually. Yeah, like now I've built my studio up for it to be a place where I can release, you know, top quality music, and also as well my skill set as a musician, as an artist, has grown. So that's definitely one thing that's never
there
kind
you
of
go.
devalued.
Just to interrupt you on that, for producers and stuff out there. 10, 15 years ago, most people had to hire out studios, spend days on end, thousands of dollars with producers, recording to tape, using effects, and they're chopping it up for you, because most musicians don't understand how to use technology. They're like really good guitarists, a really good singer, bass player, DJ, cut, whatever you're going to do. But then they would go to some guy that's got a, you know, $200,000, $500,000 studio, and then you'd pay him a gorilla a day, and then he would chop your stuff up. Now you're doing it at home. So, I mean, swings and roundabouts, bro. Like in one way it's shit, in the other way it's very good, bro. What's happened here with the shift to doing everything yourself now? Yeah,
see, there's definitely the positive and the negative as well. Like with the positive being, I have unlimited hours in a studio now where I can take my time, do take after take, or you know, contemplate a snare sound for days and days or something, and not be bothered with the.
Do you do that? Contemplate for days on a snare?
Yeah, I do. It's kind of become like a cliche thing to say, but it's actually true.
If it's true, that's good, bro. No, it's true. Like I understand, like how it is. Like sometimes I contemplate for days on a tie. Like see this one, that Donald Trump look. I'm going for that kind of. Make Australia great again, you know what I mean?
Can we talk about him later, actually?
Yeah, let's have a chat about Trump.
Yeah, see, but that's definitely the positive, but then also the negative is like anyone can have a home studio now, and see someone that's probably, you know, younger, shredded, better looking, has that, and then might, you know, bypass me.
Doesn't matter, but competition keeps you sharper.
Well, that's it. But it also was well, like, you know, I don't want to be seen as a really negative, pessimistic guy. I'm comfortable where I am, even though like I haven't really like made it. Like I'm a musician. Like it's like my wife, Edja, she really kind of drilled it into me for a long time, years before I could actually realize what she was saying. Like you know, you're a musician already. Like you don't need like adoring fans or someone else to tell you that you're a musician. You are a musician, and it's just like, you know, it took a long.
That's the destination already.
Yeah, so it took me a long time to understand that. You don't need someone to tell you, all right, you're a musician now. Boom.
So you're saying you don't need people to write like "Rate My Agent," Vlad blew my mind. You know, we're going to call our forthcoming child Vlad. Like you know what I mean? Like I've referred him to 6 or 7 people. You know what I mean? Like you don't need written testimonials. You know, the mayor talking about ya.
Yeah.
So I'm just speaking from experience. Like I actually do need those things. Like otherwise I feel empty inside.
I think it's just like what I was saying earlier. Like we're sold this idea of fame, and like it's the kind of like the final destination, the holy grail. Like you don't know how to get there, and you'll do anything to get there, and it's a trap. Because most of the time you look at all these great artists that kind of have this kind of rocket.
You know what's a trap? Marriage.
Fire-breathing dragon.
I love you, baby. If you're listening to this, which you're probably not, so that's why I said it.
Oh, yeah, I remember that when I was at your factory theatre gig, your last bit, the fire-breathing dragon.
She is, bro.
My missus too.
Yeah. I think... And I'm not generalising here, so if you're going to cut this, cut that. I'm not generalising, but most misses do have a fire-breathing dragon within their body somewhere that comes out of its, guarded dungeon every now and then. And do you know when it comes out? Whenever you say something truthful and honest. It's gone.
Man. It's the man of arguments. I mean,
how many times have you miss it agreed with you when you caught her in the wrong?
Never. And it always leads to me trying to win the argument.
Mistake number 1, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be stupid.
Yeah. So, and then that turns into why you're trying to win the argument for. What?
Yeah,
it's just like, and it's just like, yeah, you can't win. And
I'm lucky because 95% of people that listen to this are men. So there's no chicks listening to this. And if they are listening to this, they're like the nicest girls in the world, bro.
Hey, there's nothing wrong trying to win. So, try it a couple of times. And but you'll test the waters.
Yeah.
You'll see how much fire comes out your missus' mouth, and then you can gauge. Like maybe let her win. Like 2 weeks in a row, and then when you're feeling confident about something, then maybe
rip in then.
Have something to kind of fall back on. Like make sure you got some ammo in your gun before you fucking go to it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. If you're gonna argue with her. Be happy not to be able to go left with her for a while as well.
Yes.
Because my missus has only started using that artillery on me recently. She's like, all right, that's okay. You are right. But don't even ask for the next week. She's putting timelines on it. So now I've got a calendar in my room because I put like goals that I want to achieve. Yeah. And it's like, it's Monday the 6th or the 7th. And then I'll put the 14th. Go left. So on there, and if she's still got the shits, I'd be like, nah, you said 7 days, contractual, verbal agreement, this, that, let's go. Pressing, pounding, drilling, thrashing, smashing. And do that. All right, how long you been married for?
Oh, fuck. I'm not good with dates and timelines.
I hope your missus is not listening to this. She probably not. She's a female. She won't listen to this.
She'll be on her phone. I think I've been married for 10 years now. I've been together for longer. But see, the thing is, I got to be careful with my missus because, when I get the tingle...
No ring on the finger either.
You know what? That's another interesting story as well, and it kind of gets me into trouble when I'm out doing gigs and stuff because I look like Drake.
That's right. You're Drake.
The WOG version.
What? And people come up to you and they go, "You're not married. Don't hit the bathrooms," or what's the go?
No, like between sets and stuff. Some people come and talk to me and
they
stuff.
It's just like drinks.
even men as well have come up to me and it's just like, I'm kind of married as well. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, it's legal now.
I'm glad it's legal. That's another conversation.
So you're saying if this current marriage doesn't work out, you could switch it?
Could play for the other team, yeah. If I find someone sensitive to my needs who lets me win an argument at least once a week.
That's actually a really good point. That's something that I'd be looking for if I was going to go, I'm not trying to switch it because, you know what I mean, investments, 50%, is that Audi. I don't want to go from the current Audi downgrade.
To the Kia.
You know what I mean, to a Kia. Or even just to like a 3 Series or a Q3 or something. I don't want to do that. But I've got to say, best decision of your life to get married or what?
Oh, 100%.
See, that's the funny thing. We all whinge. But
Yeah.
if I could get you now on Tinder and Saturday night you're sweating to find what shirt you want to wear, do you want to do that again? Do you want to go out tonight?
Yeah, I wouldn't be.
Can you be bothered, bro?
Yeah, I wouldn't have the stamina to listen to what this person has done.
Yeah, that's right.
Their life story.
But you got to pretend.
You got to pretend it's an
Like,
act.
you got to pretend to like people again.
Yeah.
You got to pretend, and that's the thing. When you get married, you realize how much you can't hack people.
Yeah.
You just go. Like it's a means to an end because you got a family, you got a child, you got a son.
Yeah. And a stepdaughter too.
And a stepdaughter.
Yeah.
So you're a fully busy guy.
Yeah.
And imagine now going to Surrey Hills and listening to some girl going, I'm at 100,000 TikTok now. Can you believe it? My Pilates class. What are you going to do then? You know what I mean? That's what the current plight is for the young single boys out there. Good luck.
Yeah, it could work out, with hooking up with a chick who has 100,000 TikTok followers.
That's right. It could pop off straight away.
Could pop off, and then she dumps me because she realized I used her. No, see, I'm old school, man. Like ever since I was like a young kid, like you, I was listening to the Anthony Salome podcast last week.
Shout out Anthony.
Anthony, yeah, I loved it. I even checked out one of his old footy show specials. Fuck, it was funny.
He's very funny.
Very funny. I love the walk humor, man. But shit, I forgot what I was going to talk about.
Back it up now. We're just here.
What were you talking about?
We're talking about Anthony. So, going out dating, that. You're old school.
Oh, yes. So now I remember now. Yeah. How you mentioned you fell in love with the girl from the caravan.
Rachel.
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 See, I was
if you're listening to this, Rachel, all right, I don't know where you are. Probably, maybe, I don't know where she's living, all right? But I'm going to take a guess, Central Coast. All right? If you're living here and you might be a lawyer, you might be an IGA swiper. I'm not sure. But I'm over you, bro. I'm over you, whatever you did, the tongue, passion, kissing, this day introduced me to... I'm over you, bro. So, it's not like I'm going to bring you up ever again. This is the last time I'm bringing you up, Rachel. All right? All the best to you. All right? I harbour no resentment. You know what I mean? It's up to you what you did to me. I mean, that's your karma now. So don't have a go. If you're going to cut that, cut it exactly how it is, to be honest.
Who's cutting it?
Her, because she's probably going to cut it for mentioning, and I didn't mention her last name. There's plenty of Rachels out there that have dumped guys at the height of their youth.
See, that was me in high school. Like, I always wanted to, find the girl, or, if I had, the dick tingles, for a girl. I wanted...
This is PG, bro. Kids, listen to this. This is like an educational program for them.
Sorry. I might as well educate them. Dick tingles is the tingle you get downstairs.
Yeah.
Enough of that. When I had my eyes on a girl, like she was the girl. I wasn't, thinking about, I'll have her for 3 weeks and then I'll go on to someone
You're not
else.
trying to play the field.
Yeah, no, I wasn't like that. I was always, I think, out for a bond or a friendship with a girl and stuff. And
Why were you friend zoning? Are you the type of bloke that they throw you in a friend zone?
what's that? What's a friend zone?
A friend zone, which you're probably not on TikTok, is when a girl loves to hang around with you, but she just wants to do everything except for get intimate with you. She's thrown you in the friend zone. It's like, let's go out, come meet my friends, come over to my family. And you go, let's go upstairs. And she goes, why would you need to go upstairs? That's inappropriate.
Oh, right. Okay. No, none of that. It was just and I would always have, find a girl, but that was just they were just it's like they knew more than me. It's just why am I going to get serious in high school for? It's just I want to kind of play the field. When I get to year 11 and 12, I'm going to meet new people.
Oh, that was the culture. That is the culture. It was. I don't know about now.
Yeah. So
I don't think people even like each other now.
Yeah, because the advantage, all these girls that I kind of went out with in high school is they had older brothers and sisters. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure they were saying, hey, fucking forget about WAZA. He's got one eyebrow. Fucking...
Now you got two, but
yeah.
So technology worked to your advantage on that part. I don't even have any, bro. I have to go up for you to see.
So I say I've always wanted to connect with someone, and it's as the years passed, I really kind of struggled in that kind of department, and that's where music kind of came in, and it's my guitar was always my best friend and stuff, and but now. Fast forwarding to the question about getting married and it being one of the greatest things you've ever done, I'd say yes, because I've found what I've been searching for. I've never been that guy to be a sleaze or to kind of play the field. Like, I mean, like, why play the field? Like,
No, well, let me ask you another question.
Yeah.
Do you reckon that people like you and I, and that's how quick camera look, your head, look at the camera, and my head, all right? There's one thing we've got in common. We've got a head only a mother could love, all right?
Yeah,
now, one of my mates, now I haven't seen him for a long time, but said one of the most pertinent things I've ever heard in my life. I was making everyone laugh one night. I don't know why, because I was just talking about my life. I'm making everyone laugh, and he goes, do you reckon that your personality has built up to counter the head that you've got on your shoulders? And I was like, that was the most offensive thing I've ever heard from anyone in my life. Basically said, you're an ugly head, and that's why you're making us laugh. And he was a good-looking guy.
Yeah.
And he was also making us laugh, but he could pick up chicks left, right, and centre, this bloke. He was talented, good-looking, the whole bit, but he never pursued anything like that. Like, he's not written 100 songs like you or 1,000 songs like you. I'm saying he was so good-looking. So do you reckon, let's just say us ugly heads, we have to pick up a guitar, a microphone, or an Audi in order to survive the dating game?
100%. Like, it's like,
How many good-looking musos are there out there? I'm not talking about pop stars, Siley Myris, and all of these other people from America.
Justin Bieber.
Who else are over there? Bon Jovi, which I've said a couple of times, good-looking guys. But it's like, I reckon it's 2 in 100 musos are good-looking, and the rest of them are as ugly as all sin.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? And the best ones are ugly. Like, if you see the guy from Radiohead, he looks like a rapist. And I'm not saying he is one. So if you're going to cut that, Tom York, say you're looking like possibly in another dimension a rapist. Like, not even here, not in this dimension, bro.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Maybe doesn't even look like a rapist. Maybe it's just me presuming that's what, you know. And I'm not talking about a rapist of people. I'm talking about a rapist of a guitar rapist. So if you're gonna cut that, definitely cut it in its entirety.
Well, I think that's like me getting rejected by girls in high school was definitely the catalyst to be a better artist. This is like, can you say the F word?
Yeah, we could say that.
It's like, nah, fuck that. It's like, all right, whatever, you don't want anything to do with me. Like, I'm gonna play my guitar and become the best guitar player ever. You know
Survival
what I mean?
mechanisms.
Yeah, and it's just like you kind of focus that energy into something that turns into a positive, and then that's pretty much like the catalyst of songwriting in itself, really.
Every now and then we just gotta, as you know, like just switch it to start again. So we were talking about that. Yeah, the dating game, bro, in the 90s, or we were dating in the 2000s, like, let's call it the 2000s.
Yeah, as well. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like you start off in the 90s, the high school days with Rachel and other chicks that, you know what I mean, have left you by the wayside. Like a corpus on the side of a, you know what I mean, of a deserted beach in Western Australia, but you
with
still
no shoes on either.
with no shoes, and you know a soul crushed, but doesn't really matter. You get up, you get shredded, you get tanned, and you get back into the field, bro. Pick up a guitar, do something that you're naturally talented at. Who's your favorite band in the 90s?
Oh yeah,
Give me two of your favorites.
Two. There was more than two, but I'll give you two. Like,
Give me three, bro.
I'll give you three. So it was definitely like the 90s. It was definitely Guns N' Roses.
Yep.
Appetite for Destruction. I had it on cassette tape, and it blew my mind, but it only kind of half blew my mind. And but it blew my mind enough to kind of get like me thinking about being a musician. But then shortly after that, I heard Pearl Jam. I heard, because I think maybe when I was in Year 6, I heard the song Alive and Jeremy and stuff like that.
Some people say that I look like the singer.
Yeah, Eddie Vedder, yeah.
Eddie, if you're listening to this, I may reach out, bro. Throw me on your podcast.
Yeah.
You can even have one.
Hey, podcasts are popular these days.
Yeah.
So but it wasn't until their second album, Versus, I heard the song Go, and it was like literally like
crazy track. Oh no, I love that track.
brain orgasm. It's just like
But wasn't that? It's like fast, that track, though.
Yeah,
It's on all the surfing, skateboarding videos and stuff like that. Classic.
Like literally, like I was chilling in my in a room similar to this. Like my best friend Vince, he had the coolest spot. Like he had a house, but he also had like a granny flat in the backyard, and it was decked out with like the Sega Mega Drive, fucking vinyl, stereos, TV, VHS, everything. Because he had 2 older brothers, so it was the music collection was bonkers, and that was like pretty much the kind of.
So you're blessed with having older brothers in the 90s, bro, because they'd buy all the shit and you just listen to it.
Yeah,
that was the best part of it.
So hearing that song go, like literally, like just
game changer,
fucking explosion. I was just like, what the fuck is this? Like just like my head was literally blown off. And then I think it was the same day or the next day, like, because I think I just slept over Vince's house, and we went to Grace Brothers. Remember Grace Brothers? It's now Maya. I went straight to the fucking the CD section, and back then they still had CD singles, and I'm just in there just praying, and it was a short kind of section for the CDs, CD singles, and I'm just praying that they'll have "Go" in there by Pearl Jam. And I fucking look and fucking it's there. It's like, oh my fucking god! I just
how much was it?
Oh, I think it was like $5 or something.
$5,
and I also had like a couple of other cuts on it. I can't remember what they were. I think it was maybe just some live versions. And like that was it. I was I think I just turned 13 years old, and that point in time is when I realized I want to be a musician. Yeah, right. And
prior to that, did you play any instruments?
No, I think I started playing the bass guitar, but
nothing before that.
Nothing before that. Yeah, right. You know, like I think I went over to my friend's house like once, and he had a beat up acoustic guitar in his living room, and I picked it up, and it was a really crazy moment actually. Like the first thing I actually played was like the Jaws theme. Dun dun. It's like, that's the fucking Jaws theme.
Oh, right, yeah.
So it was like a really kind of like funny thing. And, but yeah, so going back to your question, I'd definitely say it was Gunners and Pearl Jam that pretty much were my favorite bands as an early teenager. But then I started kind of like, moving on to other things, starting to explore like the Australian music scene.
Chili Peppers?
Yeah, I love the Chili Peppers. I saw the Chili Peppers actually in 1996 at the Entertainment Centre when they had Dave Navarro as the lead guitarist.
One Hot Minute album.
Yeah, One Hot Minute, yeah. Which they don't play anymore because Dave Navarro owns all the rights to.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they'll never play any of that music again. But yeah, so Pearl Jam, more so Pearl Jam. I was obsessed with them, man. Like just literally obsessed.
What's your favourite album?
Of Pearl Jam, I'd say all of them, man.
You can't say that when you say what's your favourite album, all of them.
Yeah, I don't want to be the cliche.
No, you're on an island, and we're doing the English people do this desert island disc. What's one album from Pearl Jam you're taking with you? You're there, you're on the island like Tom Hanks with a Wilson ball. The volleyball, you're free falling, but you got one album of Pearl Jam.
Yeah, well, I'll have to say Versus, the second one.
There you go.
It was just like truly.
What's the cover art?
It's like a sheep caught like in
the
like
wires.
Yeah, wires. Yeah. Like that whole album, like sonically, just kind of tickles my brain. Like it's
a good album.
Yeah, even like to this day, like I put it on, and it's like a. Front to back listen, and it's just like it's still as exciting as it was as a kid, and it's amazing. Like sometimes I think it's like, okay, do my musical tastes never change, or actually like this is really good, like I really connect with it and stuff. But yeah, I say Versus by Pearl Jam, but then I say all their albums because I'm just so sick of people saying, 10 was their best album and this and that.
Is that the first one?
The first one, yeah.
That's a good album.
So I approach it from like a musician perspective. Like, like I would hate for someone to say, I had a really popular mixtape called Love is a Battlefield, and everyone loved it. And then like pretty much like everything after that, like it's like, it's not the mixtape. It's just like, fuck, I'm a muso. I don't do the same thing twice.
People don't like to change, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So kind of hats off to Pearl Jam for kind of always kind of pushing the envelope and changing with each album. That's why I'd say like I'd like all their albums. So it's just because I like you're only as good as your kind of what's the saying? Like as your last attempt. Like
It's your last take. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's just like, like not fucking something from 20 years ago, 30 years ago. It's just like you're still doing your thing. So like, even though like deep down inside, I can hear what people have problems with it and stuff. It's it doesn't sound like this, doesn't sound like that.
But who cares?
Yeah, exactly. Like
cares,
I'm more appreciative of that. Pearl Jam are still releasing music.
Yeah. They're still now.
They're still.
Yeah, that's good, bro.
Still touring. I think so. I appreciate it in that sense. Like, why do you want to be some fuddy-duddy that's like, it doesn't sound like this? It's like, come on, man. Like, it's year 2021. Like, I'm grateful that they're still here. Like, a part of me from the past is still here with me. It's just like, because as you get older, like, it's just like, fuck, like, you don't feel like the same person anymore. And you kind of think,
of course.
It's like, who's
Would you be happier if like Pearl Jam just did 3 albums and now Eddie Vedder is hosting a cooking show?
with Jam?
On TikTok. Like, he's viral on TikTok. He's dumped his missus. He's got a missus that's 24 years old now, which is legal. So if you're going to cut that. Now he's doing profiteroles instead of doing, don't go under. He's got the song.
Classic. Yeah, well, that's it. I think, I'm more appreciative of artists.
So he's true to the form, bro.
Yeah, like even a lot of Aussie bands.
So give me 2 Aussie bands, bro.
Oh, okay, shit. Okay, well, in the 90s.
Yeah, we've got to stick to the 90s because you're as 90s as it gets, bro.
You always tell me I'm so 90s.
Yeah, look at the hat, the way it's bent at the front. You look like a lad, but a father.
With this grandpa shirt on too.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Aussie band. So did you say 2?
Yeah.
Okay, because when I was younger, I was playing in punk bands, and like my favorite punk band from Australia was Body Jar, who they're still going.
I like them as well.
I think the singer-guitarist Cam is the only original member. So hats off to Cam for still going. Another Aussie band that I really loved, Front and Loader. I got more than 3, Vlad. Seriously, man.
What about Frenzal Rom?
Frenzal Rom? I liked Frenzal, but I never really connected with them. Connected more with a band from, I think, Geelong called Magic Dirt. Female singer, Adelita, amazing.
Yeah, it's good.
And who else? Bands like the Marker Kane, bands like the Meanies. Oh, Tumbleweed. Oh, can't believe I forgot them.
That's 90s. You're a very 90s, bro.
Yeah, I love Tumbleweed, and I've seen them many times, and I've met the band. Really lovely guys. And they're so independent, like where I like to order a shirt. Regurgitator, yes, love Regurgitator as well.
Silverchair?
Oh, love Silverchair.
There you go.
That's another. I've actually been listening to Daniel Johns' new podcast at the moment on Spotify.
So he's got a podcast.
I think it's just a special.
Has he got a cooking show?
No.
Oh, well,
I think he would have rather be a chef than a musician, actually.
Spread your wings, Daniel, if you're going to do it.
Yeah. So, I can't, Vlad, you can't give me like a two-question answer.
What about hip-hop in the 90s?
See, I was a late bloomer to hip-hop, and it's quite funny, actually, because a lot of my career has
late
been...
bloomer to hip-hop?
Yeah, because most of my career has been based around the hip-hop genre.
Right. Yeah.
So, like... Well, my entry into hip hop was, if we're going way back, was like these English guys kind of doing a spoof on "No Sleep Till Brooklyn" by the Beastie Boys, but their version was "No Sleep Till Bedtime."
Right.
For some reason, I had that on vinyl as a kid, and but then as I got into year 6, I think Salt and Pepper Push was big.
Yeah, was
and
big.
Do you remember TV hits like Saturday morning?
Yeah, of course. MC Hammer.
Yeah, MC Hammer, Push, MC Hammer, all those
Vanilla Ice.
Vanilla Ice. I never liked Vanilla Ice. It was...
Nah, but how good was that song? Stop, collaborate, and listen.
Vlad is back with a brand new invention. I never really liked Vanilla Ice.
Left real tightly.
So I was I got hooked into Crisscross. Remember those guys?
I loved them.
Yeah.
Loved them.
So I had their album on cassette, Crisscross Make a Jump.
Me too. I missed the bus.
Yeah, that's classic. Yeah,
I missed the bus.
Yeah, classic.
I remember that.
And
track.
That Bum Rush, I think.
My sister goes to me apparently, like when I was young. I was one of these blokes that was real 90s.
Yeah.
Antisocial, headphones on, just walking around the house with a Walkman,
right,
listening to stuff. Parents couldn't talk to me. Like they'd be like, and I'd be like, huh, what? And you go, jump.
Yeah.
And I'd just be jumping around the house like that if my sister gets away, like Pusher,
Yeah,
Kicker,
right.
like a real 90s guy.
Yeah,
Which is, the 90s was like the real shitheads. They were shitheads. The boys were shitheads in the 90s.
for sure.
They weren't like all nice to people. They were your shitheads. Even the movies, bro. There's always like a bully in the 90s. They're always like bully guys. They bully their younger, the people, you know. Get out of my room. They're yelling and shit like that. Nowadays, they're all nice to their siblings, bro.
Nah,
Which is
they're still bullies.
My daughter's bullying myself.
Okay, she's 90s.
Yeah, she's 90s.
Yeah, so I think I went from Crisscross, and then I stopped there, and then went Gunners, Pearl Jam, Nirvana, Soundgarden,
Yeah.
Tumbleweed, Magic Dirt, Bloody Jar, Friends of Rom, you know, all these bands. But then,
So when did you start listening to good music?
so Vlad, I've always liked good music. It just doesn't matter. It's
Do you listen to classical?
No. No, so like I think, so like in high school, you know, I heard, because hip hop was popping off at the time, but I was kind of on the other side of the fence. I was more into the rock stuff, but like I was always aware of, you know, like Cypress Hill, you know, like with Insane in the Brain,
Yeah.
and like House of Pain, Jump Around.
But that was so dark, that Cypress Hill. When that came out, I'd never seen anyone promote weed that much.
Yeah, that was crazy.
The amount of weed heads that have come from that album that are still weed heads now, and I know you're probably listening to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, open the curtains a bit because they love a dark room, the weed heads, which
Yeah.
is kind of like this room, to be honest.
Exactly,
It's just like
for sure.
just minus the weed. Because if you do weed, there's no way you can be bothered doing a podcast like this, you know, because you feel great as it is. You know
That's
what I mean?
it.
I'm not judging them. So,
But then
saying weed's not very good for productivity.
yeah, that's another a conversation. Like, you know, like I've dabbled in the herbal kind of remedies and stuff.
Herbal essence.
Yeah, it to me, like it accelerates my creativity, and like, you know, like staying up all night the night before doing, you know, this and that. This is the most amazing song ever. Then you wake up the next morning and it's just like, oh fuck, man, like it doesn't really sound as good as it did last night. So it kind of heightens your senses and slows down time.
Yeah, it
and,
does, yeah.
But like it's probably
Not that I know.
Yeah.
So if you're going to cut that, if my daughter's listening to this in 2034, and I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah. But yeah, like, but somewhere along the lines in high school, I think it was like around year 7, year 8. So I was in the kind of like, the rock kind of world, but this movie came out called Judgment Night. And there was a kind of game-changing soundtrack for it, where it had all kind of popular rock bands at the time mash up a song with popular hip-hop artists of the time. So like you had your Pearl Jam doing a track with Cypress Hill. You had Helmet doing a song with House of Pain. You had Faith No More doing a song with Booyah Trouble, and it was just the most amazing sounding album. And that's another album that kind of blew my head off as well.
Judgment Night.
Judgment Night. Check it out. The movie
Never
wasn't
heard
as
of it.
good,
Never
but
heard
like
of
that album was pretty much the catalyst for the new metal.
They did the soundtrack to it.
Yeah, like it was all
Those
these
bands and
all
stuff.
these bands did the soundtrack to it,
Yeah,
and
right.
it was pretty much like the Bible that birthed the new metal movement towards the later 90s, early 2000s.
Limp Bizkit is that.
Limp Bizkit, Korn, Deftones.
I was never into any of that stuff.
Yeah. So then my worlds collided like Seinfeld, and then
Is that your favourite show from the 90s?
of course, man, Seinfeld.
Yeah.
I still watch it every day. I watched 2 episodes last night.
You can't get better than that. It's that good.
It's it's
If
the
you ever
only.
watch the podcast, you know that Kramer's in the corner, who's the best character.
I think that's why we're friends. A lot of my good friends are Seinfeld kind of addicts. Like I think,
90s people, bro.
yeah, I think because I have to quote Seinfeld like literally like in pretty much every conversation that I have. Yada yada yada. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
That's right.
You know,
It's the Beatles of sitcoms.
well, that's it. Like that documentary that was out documenting the Chicago Bulls in the 90s. What was that called? Watched it.
With oh my god, I went through the biggest flashbacks with that series, bro. I lost my mind. The Last Dance.
Yeah. So there's an episode in there where Jerry meets Michael Jordan. Jerry was a fan, but they were just meeting because Jerry had the best TV show at the time, and Michael Jordan had the best team. He was the best basketball player at the time, and it was just like these two kind of great kind of entities like meeting just because they were dominating in their both
at that
respective
point.
fields.
That's right. Yeah, I remember.
So but then with
Both very hard workers.
yeah, of course.
Well, I'll tell you a story about Jerry in respect to his comedy. He went to LA, which is kind of analogous to what we were talking about before with trying and being rejected. In LA, I think it was the Comedy Store. There's a lady there that runs it, Mitzi or Bitsy or whatever her name is, I'm not sure. But she's the gatekeeper for LA, and LA was the scene for the West Coast. If you play the Comedy Store, it's all shot. You can cut the clips and put it up. And if you play the store, you're kind of already on your way up, so people pay attention to you. She rejected Jerry Seinfeld. And he goes, I was cut, I was angry. So all I did was work really, really hard and started the Seinfeld series. And 2 seasons in, when it started to get traction, he was driving his Porsche down the Hollywood Hills. And every morning or every few mornings, he would see her coming up the hill in some beaten up Honda. And he would just look at her and she'd look at him. And he goes, I just knew that she knew who I was. And he goes, that was the nicest feeling, just driving past, just like, Audi. You know what I mean? Or a Porsche, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I come shredded, you said no, I didn't quit. I didn't get, he got angry, but he used the anger to go harder in the paint using a 90s phrase. You know what I mean? So,
well, that's it.
That's what you got to do, bro. Prove them wrong.
It's like the rejection is the catalyst to keep you going.
It's like fuel, bro.
Yeah, it ignites the fire. It keeps going.
It's like, who are you, bro? Like telling me I can't do it.
Yeah.
And because you're doing it usually for the right reasons. So, and if it's something that you don't want to live without, like whatever, real estate, comedy, or whatever, you know what I mean, for you, music, playing acoustic guitars, then you've got to take the rejection as the fuel. And anyone that's listening to this, whoever, I know that a lot of DJs listen to this, they want to be like John Digweed in Sweden, you know what I mean, with a lot of people that are off their heads in front of them. You can't stop, bro. No matter if you got 30 spins on SoundCloud at the moment, you still got to go harder and just keep refining.
Well, that's it. I mean, everyone has got those stories, and then probably like every 100 of those people get successful. I just finished watching the miniseries on Colin Kaepernick on Netflix.
Yep.
I highly recommend it. To anyone that's interested in that type of thing. He was a naturally born kind of athlete, and he was really good at baseball. Probably really good at baseball, where everyone kind of took notice of him. He was pretty good at basketball, and he was really good at football, NFL type football. And his dream was to be a quarterback. But he got no kind of scholarships for to be a quarterback. He was just getting all these kind of scholarships to be a baseball player, and he pretty much just kind of said no to all the baseball scholarships and just kept going, just like on a limb that he was going to become a quarterback one day, and he eventually did. He got lucky. It's a great story, and it kind of mixes in the racial kind of injustice as well in America at the time of being an African American as well. Really great documentary. So I mean, you gotta have that fire. You gotta have that passion, but also as well at the end of the day, you gotta be ready to settle with actually not getting there either as well.
What team does he play for?
Now, Colin Kaepernick. Now I think he's been outcasted from sports.
He's a TikToker now.
Is he?
I think so.
Because
we'll cut it at that. All right, so we've done a lot of background checks here with WAZA, and he checks out fine. So now, what are you doing, bro? Like music-wise, WAZA, Interlooper, Walkabout Street. What's next? What's coming up? Run us through what you got coming up, bro.
A lot. I think I need to go see a psychiatrist. I think I have a personality disorder. It's
so I confirmed that.
I think right now I'm kind of working on 4 different projects. So doing the next release for WAZA, which is going to be a hip hop instrumental album, probably about 8 tracks, and then also working on the next Interlooper stuff, which might be just like single drops every month, or might just turn that into like a 4-track EP. Also working on the Walkabout street stuff.
Have you released anything with Walkabout?
No, nothing yet for Walkabout. I've just been doing a couple of gigs here and there around town, but I've finished recording like a 4-track EP. I just got to send it to my friend Tony to mix and master. So that's in the can, ready to go. Also, Goro, another kind of beat maker group that I'm in with Tony.
Goro's the Mortal Kombat guy.
Yeah, the kind of the second boss boss guy with the 4 arms.
That's right.
Yeah, the reason why we're called Goro is because we've got 4 arms. Kind
4
of
of you guys.
self-explanatory.
2 of you guys, 4 arms.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, we're going to be releasing a 7-inch record next year, which will hopefully coincide with the gig that we're doing at the Enmore Theatre. We're opening up for more Chiba.
Cool.
Yeah, I think part of the Blues Fest side shows. I'm not sure if I'm even allowed to mention that.
So if you're going to cut that.
Cut that. Yeah, so that's it. And gigs wise,
yeah. What do you got coming?
You can usually find me at a place doing the WAZA beat stuff in the city called place called Silly, acronym for Since I Left You.
Since I Left You.
Yeah.
Right. Whereabouts is that?
Kent Street.
Sydney City, right?
Yeah, in Kent Street. Amazing venue. Amazing people that run the joint. Nick White and staff there.
Yeah, right.
They've really kind of have been accepting of me and my music and let me come back there regularly.
So they should. It's good stuff.
Yeah, thanks. So I think I'm there on the 18th of November next. And
where can people find out more about you?
Social media, man. Instagram, Facebook. So yeah, like WAZA, for my WAZA stuff, it's WAZA Beats.
Yep.
So 1Z, Beats with a Z, Interlooper, which is spelled NITALOOPA.
Yep.
I'm more active on Instagram. Walkabout Street, kind of Instagram, Facebook. It's basically just Walkabout Street. So Walkabout, one word, street. I've got actually a Walkabout gig next Saturday, actually, 13th of November, at the Native Rose Hotel. Ticketed event. You have to pay $20 to come see my ugly head.
Yeah, Drake, but...
Pardon?
A pretty Drake-looking head.
Yeah, so Drake on the acoustic guitar. Just you think of it at that. You get to see Drake's Maltese cousin coming to a theatre.
Slightly less shredded, but let's be honest.
Not as shredded. I'm a little bit
He's
more...
a family man, Drake, bro. Your father, Drake.
Yeah, I'm more lethargic, Drake.
Daddy Drake.
Yeah, I skateboard though. Skateboarding keeps me.
Yeah,
in
I've
shape.
seen some videos of you skating, bro, and I wanted to skate with you as well because people can see heel flips, this, that, nollie back lips. They've seen it. You would never expect a wog of this caliber, pop out of an Audi, put some Vans on his feet, still in a suit, and I could still front board slide down a rail or across a rail, maybe not down.
You really impressed me there with that.
Yeah, you told me you're nice with the board.
You're nice with the
that's
board.
a 90s saying.
Yeah.
And that's New York. Like, I'm nice with it. Or I'm dumb nice. That's if you're all in New York, you'll say I'm dumb nice on the DJ decks. And we're going to do a little cut soon at the end, so stick around. I'm like Ron Burgundy, bro, out here. Where you're going to do a little set for us, right? As WAZA.
Yeah.
As WAZA Beats.
Yeah.
So Wazzy's going to put together a little trestle table that he's got, all of his electronic stuff. This is the kind of stuff that you're going to be able to see. It'll be a small section of it. But if you go to Since I Left You on Kent Street or look up his music, he's going to do a live performance for us now. I'll be filming it and I'll put it up on YouTube and all of that. And it'll also stream at the end of the podcast. Usually we put immaculate music at the end of each podcast, as you know. And this week we're going to be showcasing WAZA Beats live on the DAT Podcast, episode 63. Anything else, bro? We've had half a bottle of scotch. Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Just put that.
Cheers.
Can you go look over here? Come close to here, bro, so people can see at least your arms stretch out. Yay.
We're about to do the marriage thing, crossing the arms. Final message. Just be good to your fellow neighbour. Don't be racist.
So love thy neighbour.
Love thy neighbour. Yeah. Don't be racist. Don't be pricky to your work colleague. Just be happy. Don't worry about...
Do you reckon people can just be happy, or they have to go through a succession of events and protocols to become happy? Or can you just wake up in the morning and be happy? Because there's philosophies on both sides. It's a mind state, it's a decision, or do you reckon some people, they have to work toward it?
It all depends on how you were brought up, I guess. If you're kind of brought up into a household that's very negative,
Yep.
it'll probably be a battle for you to
Most
kind of,
wogs are.
yeah, that's pretty much my story as well. Like my dad didn't hate other people; he hated his family.
That's a wog thing, bro.
It's a wog thing.
My old man once said to me famously, and if we're going to have a go at dads here, my old man said famously, I'm spewing because I've only got one son. Because if I had three, then I could flick you easy, bro, and I'd go on with the other ones. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but, and then now look at him now, front row and center at every show.
Yeah, I saw him at
listening
the
to the
Sydney
podcast.
one.
You saw him at the
Yeah.
Sydney. He's loving it every day. He's coming over, Vlad, bro, this, that, rap, Stitcher, doing catchphrases like I'm Ernie and Bert, bro, on Sesame Street. So
Yeah, it's definitely. It all depends
I
on.
suppose that's what it is. You're going to be like that with your son, or are you going to learn a lesson?
Yeah, learn the lesson. I'm gonna probably for my son. I'm gonna be there each step of the way, kind of guiding him in a positive light to what he wants to be. And if I see him drifting, I'll pull him up. And like even now, like he says he hates this or he hates that, and I'm already saying, don't use the word hate. Hate's such a negative word. It's an ugly word to me.
It is
because
ugly, yeah.
yeah.
Well, it consumes you.
It consumes you because like you hate something because it's like that's like you shouldn't. Yeah,
It
exactly.
takes a lot of energy to hate.
Yeah, you
bro.
shouldn't let it consume you.
Well, they say love and hate is like they're like right next to each other.
Yeah.
They're love and hate's closer than like and dislike. Love and hate is like you're right there. Because you're if you hate something, you're super invested in the demise or the ridicule, discord, or whatever of the person or the thing or the entity or the country or the politician or the politics. But if you just like bro, I can't be bothered, I can't hack them, leave them alone, then you're not emotionally and physically, you're not energetically invested in it. So hey, you could do a lot more good for yourself and for the people
100%.
if you just channel what you love.
Yeah.
And everyone loves something. You know what I mean? I know a couple of people that don't love anything, but I mean, good luck to them. You know who you are if you're listening to this. You probably are. They definitely hate this. And advice. They hate advice, but, proverbs, they say the wise love advice and the haters do not like advice. So if you're going to cut that.
Yeah, one thing I'd say to people that have a problem with like a minority or something, because it's like before you hate someone else,
go over for dinner. Go over their house for dinner. Let them make the food of their culture for you. Have a couple of drinks. Tell me if you hate them after that.
True. Yeah, definitely break bread with them and
break bread with them. That's right.
Yeah, for sure.
You'll love them after that.
Yeah, man. Like that kind of ritual of sitting down, having food with people really opens the doors. I've definitely had many experiences with that. But what I was going to say is before you hate someone, a minority, a person for their views, look into yourself, look into what you hate about yourself first.
Yeah.
Fix that before you try and fix something for someone else.
So he's getting quite religious here. I don't know that you're this religious, but take the plank out of your eye before you take the speck out of your neighbour's eye.
Yeah, well, that's it.
I mean, JC Christ. I mean, one of the best rappers of all time, bro.
Better than Drake?
Way better than Drake, bro. Drake's pretty good. I mean, if you're spiritual, he'd probably do a lot better than 100 mil a week. Thanks for tuning in, bro.
If I could go back. If I could go back. If I could go back.